This video will be about how Kratos became gaming's most unstoppable force. Usually, when people think of Kratos, they usually picture one thing: a god killer, a warrior who has defeated monsters, titans, and entire pantheons, a man who seems impossible to stop. But here's the thing: Kratos wasn't born unstoppable. He wasn't even born a god people feared. He started as a man, a Spartan soldier, someone who was willing to sacrifice everything for victory. And ironically, that's exactly what destroyed him. Before Kratos was known as the Ghost of Sparta, he was one of Sparta's greatest generals. His entire identity revolved around one thing: winning. To Kratos, defeat wasn't just embarrassing, it was unacceptable. That mindset made him one of Spartan's strongest warriors. But it also planted the seed for every tragedy that followed. Because when your entire life is built around never losing, you'll eventually make choices you'll regret forever. During one of his greatest battles, Kratos found himself on the verge of defeat. For the first time, he wasn't in control. His army was dying, his enemies were overwhelming him, and in that moment of desperation, he called out to Ares. Not because he admired him, not because he wanted power for selfish reasons. He simply refused to die. Ares answered. The god of war granted Kratos incredible power and gave him the blades of chaos. In a single moment, Kratos became far stronger than any ordinary man. But every deal has a price. Ares didn't just give Kratos power, he took away his freedom. Kratos became a weapon, someone who destroyed villages, armies, and anyone Ares ordered him to kill. And then came the moment that changed everything. Through Ares' manipulation, Kratos unknowingly killed his own wife and daughter. Imagine that for a second. Everything you fought for, everything you wanted to protect, gone. Not because of an enemy, but because of your own hands. That moment shattered Kratos completely. The oracle cursed him by binding the ashes of his family to his skin forever. From that day forward, he became the ghost of Sparta. Every time he looked at himself, he was reminded of what he'd done. That guilt became something he could never escape. Most people would have broken under that kind of pain. Kratos didn't. Instead, he turned his grief into rage. His guilt became purpose. His purpose became revenge. This is the point where I think Kratos truly started becoming unstoppable. Not because he became stronger physically, but because he stopped caring about what happened to him. Think about it. How do you stop someone who believes they've already lost everything? How do you threaten a man who no longer fears death? You can't. Kratos wasn't fighting because he expected a happy ending. He was fighting because revenge became the only thing keeping him alive. That's what made him terrifying. Every god that stood in his way became another obstacle to destroy. Every betrayal made him angrier. Every victory convinced him that even gods could bleed. Eventually, he defeated Ares and became the new god of war. Most stories will end there. The hero wins, the villain dies. Everyone lives happily ever after. Not Kratos. Even after getting everything he thought he wanted, the nightmares still never stopped. His family was gone. The guilt never disappeared. Revenge hadn't healed him. It had only left him empty. It's one of my favorite parts of Kratos' story, because it proves revenge doesn't fix trauma. It just gives you something to focus on until you're forced to face it again. Kratos continued fighting, god after god, titan after titan, until eventually Greece itself was left in ruins. By that point, Kratos had become exactly what everyone feared: an unstoppable force. But here's where I think his story becomes truly special. The older Kratos we meet in the North game isn't unstoppable because he's angrier. He's unstoppable because he's wiser. The younger Kratos let his rage control every decision he made. The older Kratos still has that rage, but he simply refuses to let it control him anymore. He's fighting for his son. He's trying to teach Atreus not to repeat the mistakes that destroyed his own life. For the first time, Kratos isn't trying to become stronger, he's trying to become better. And somehow, that makes him even more dangerous. Because not every swing of his axe, every decision, every battle is controlled, not emotional. The strongest version of Kratos isn't the one screaming at the gods, it's the one who's finally mastered himself. At the end of the day, Kratos didn't become gaming's most unstoppable force because he was the strongest person alive. He became unstoppable because every tragedy that should have broken him only pushed him forward. He lost his family, he lost his home, he lost his purpose, he even lost himself. But he never stopped moving. Maybe that's the real reason Kratos became a legend. Not because he could kill gods, but because no matter how much pain life threw at him, he always found a reason to stand back up. And that was just a short summary on Kratos and how he became what he is. I hope you guys liked the video. Like and subscribe. Thank you.